Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Worshipful Wednesday. I always like to remind you it's the middle of the week. You ought to throw your hands up in the air and be at the peak of your praise. Give God the glory and the honor and the praise that he is due. Today, I want to invite you to look with me at Mark's Gospel, the 6th chapter, verses 35 through 44. It is now the late afternoon, and Jesus says to his disciples, they're out away from everybody else. It's getting late. And he said, man, it's time for us to go to sleep. You know, too oftentimes you and I, we forget that Jesus and his disciples also rested. Jesus and his disciples realized that they were human. Jesus was fully human and fully God, but he identified with those who were working with him. He gave them an opportunity that they can relax, that they can rejuvenate themselves, because he fully understood that all of us as human beings, we need something that is very key and essential. We need sleep. We need peace. We need to distance ourselves from working 24/7. So one of his disciples says, send the crowds away. Look at all these people, Jesus. You've done all these miracles. It's getting late. We ought to go to sleep. And Jesus says, you should feed them. They said, Lord, wait a minute. We have been out here. We've been working. These folk are hungry, but why should we have to feed them? Because Jesus says, I want to show you the power that God has given to us to multiply with the little things that you have. You know, there's another parable. There's another lesson that we read about that tells the same story. But Jesus asked them a question. How much bread do you have? You know, I want to ask you the question. How much bread do you have? You know, too oftentimes we forget that Jesus is the living bread. How much bread do you have? In essence, how much Jesus do you have? You know, when you and I have enough Jesus, that's enough for the whole world to see. When we have enough Jesus, that's enough for everybody to know that he is more than enough. Jesus tells them, go and find out. I need for you to go and check with the people to find out what you have. You know, too oftentimes we forget the importance of checking in with people, finding out what people have, doing an inventory, asking people, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that you need? But also, what do you have? Because the Lord wants to use what you have to be a blessing not only to you, but those around you. This becomes a reminder that too oftentimes we forget that what we have is all that Jesus asked for. He doesn't ask for us to go and do extravagant things, but he says, take the little bit that you have and use it for my glory, and it'll be a blessing to not only you, but all the people who are the beneficiaries. He tells them, go find out what you have. They find out there's 5 loaves and 2 fish. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish. He prayed for it. He lifted it up to heaven. He gave thanks. He broke it. He told his disciples, share with everybody. And they fed 5,000 men and their family simply because somebody made what they had available to Jesus. I want to ask you, do you make what you have available to Jesus? Your time, your talent, and your treasure? Because if you do, God will use it and do great and marvelous things. May the Lord bless you. May heaven smile upon you. Always know that you're exceedingly and abundantly blessed. Take the Lord with you everywhere you go, and we'll see you again on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.